Welcome back to Good Morning San Diego. Mortgage rates are on the rise, and some experts say it could make it more difficult to buy a home. Trent Cady from the Mike Cady Realty Group joins us now to explain what this means for the average home buyer. Good morning. Nice to have you on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's a crazy time out there right now, as I'm sure a lot of you have seen. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates last week by about 75 basis points, spilling over into the bond market and causing the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage to be about 6.2+%, pricing a lot of buyers down and out of this market.
Yeah, and in a nutshell, I mean, if you were to simplify this, Trent, this basically means when the mortgage rates go up, doesn't this mean that for someone who wants to buy a home or buys a home during this time, you end up paying more for your house in the long run?
Correct. Yeah, to put it in a little bit simpler terms, about 30 to 45 days ago, the average 30-year fixed was at about 3.5%. Today, it sits at about 6.2%, which is almost double. So say you were out in the market looking for a home, $700,000 to $800,000, 30 to 45 days ago. Well, now your qualification power has been taken down a ton, and maybe now that 800,000 you thought you could qualify for has now dropped down to 650.
Now, research has shown us that when mortgage rates tend to go up, the cost of a home tends to either stabilize or we may see a decrease in the cost of a house. What can a buyer do if this is the direction that we're headed in? What would you suggest for people who are interested in buying a house right now?
Yeah, it's a great question, and we've already started to see it. Same thing, that 30 to 45 day mark ago, we were seeing 10, 15 plus offers. A lot of buyer fatigue because people were tired of seeing properties go 10 to 20% over ask. What buyers can really do right now is go get pre-approved, back into a purchase price that they're comfortable with from a payment perspective. One obviously big benefit of owning is that your payment's never going to change. Unlike, we've seen those rising rental costs, month over month and year over year, these rental prices are rising, to exorbitant amounts.
And, what about folks who have equity? What can they do? Because obviously you've got the equity. What would you suggest their approach be if they're wanting to buy another home or a property?
Definitely. Yeah, another great question. A lot of sellers are in kind of that gridlock state right now. They have a really low property tax basis. They're locked in on an extremely low 30-year fixed rate loan. They're extremely comfortable in their property, so they're having trouble moving. What they can do to tap into that equity without refinancing and knocking out that favorable long-term debt would be to put a home equity line of credit on the property. You don't have to pay on it unless you draw upon it. But as we move into these uncertain times, you're going to start to see some opportunity, and it's also a great safety net you can have.
Yeah, I think it just, by and large, I think it's a lot of people think it's a crazy time right now because we are seeing a lot of interested buyers, even though the interest rates is going up. But it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot out there for sale. What are you seeing on your end as an expert in this field?
Yep. Yeah, totally. So new listings are down 18.8% from this time last year. So when you thought there was low inventory last year, there's even less this year. So although rates are rising, we're continuing to see homes selling at or even, just below ask now, just because, of all the increase in rates.
Well, Trent, thank you so much for your knowledge and information on the state of the current market. Obviously, this is a conversation and a topic that we're going to be talking about for several months, I think, at least until the end of the year. We appreciate it, Trent. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to educate you on the topic.
You bet. Appreciate it. Have a good one.